Sup, you chuckle fucks? It's your boy Dark Raku here with what if Issei was like Suguru Geto, Part 5. Now, before I continue on with Part 5, I am going to have to read the manga for Sukuna, because I actually haven't read the manga. I think the last part I left it off was mostly at the games. The manga, I think I was around when Sukuna said that he was a fallen. Other than that, I don't remember anything else. But other than that, I think that's where I left it off. I can't remember. But I will go read back into it, but not the point. The calling games, I think I was at that part somewhere. I think in the middle of it. I can't remember. I think it was where the part where Maki and who else was fighting against? No, I think I was past that. I can't remember. So I'll read the manga later. But right now, I'm gonna go on with this what if. And yes, I think part 6 is when mostly the battle between, maybe part 6. Yeah, I'm gonna do it in part 6. So not the point. Let me begin into this what if. Let me shut the fuck up and let me just begin. So let's begin into this what if. So we begin into mostly Suguru kind of waking up choosing violence. Literally, he chose violence this morning. The only reason why he chose violence is literally because he asked 2 cursed spirits to go literally attack the fallen angels, the fallen angel base. The only reason they did that was because they need to get Valerie alone so they can be able to kind of take half of her sacred gear away. But this is where we go into mostly the fallen angel base. Now Suguru is literally not there watching. Suguru needs to be in his base because he needs to kind of have a contact magic circle at all times with Ajuka, because Ajuka seems to be the only person that might be able to trust him. He will get other people to trust him, but mostly Ajuka seems to be the one mostly trusting him. And he knows Ajuka is smart, so if he gets the smart motherfucker trusting him, then mostly everyone else would start trusting Ajuka and trusting him. So of course that's why he aligns himself with kind of helping Ajuka. If he would have helped Seraphol, it probably wouldn't went that well, because Seraphol is quite fucking annoying and would probably annoy everyone in the whole supernatural. They wouldn't even believe Seraphol, because either Seraphol kind of likes Suguru because of his good looks, or just something else, something just dumb. And of course, even if he had to align himself with Sir Zex, it probably would have went bad somehow. Maybe one of his family members just recognized him, and no. If he would have aligned himself with the lazy one, the last kind of like Mao, who's lazy as hell, that would never work because he would be too asleep. So yeah, that's why he saved Ajuka from mostly Sukuna, so he can have him as an alliance, as a temporary alliance. I say, nah, not the point. So of course, with all that happening, we go into mostly we go into Sukuna. Not Sukuna. Sukuna is keep killing more devils in territory in the Devil Society, because he's in the underworld just rampaging, killing, murdering. It doesn't really matter. But we go into Suguru right now, kind of planning with his team. But we go into Suguru playing with his team. He's right now talking to Miguel, and of course talking to So, of course, he's basically with Miguel, the 2 girls, and the, 2 kind of like 16-year-olds. But, of course, there's the other kind of like curse users. And pretty much he's just talking to mostly the main group of members that he has. Of course, he's kind of like going on with a plan that might happen. Of course, he already seen into the future 2 days ago. Mostly in those 2 days what happened. So, of course, Ajuka might have to call him again. But it was not really confirmed, and that we'll mostly see into the future. Of course, because it was 2 days, and it was actually later ahead of time. It was actually go 3 days, but not the point. He didn't really see what it was in 3 days, because he can't really hit 3 days. It's his limit 2 days, but not the point. This is where he also kind of did talk about how mostly Jogo and also Mahito managed to grab the piece of the longitis, not true longitis, but mostly a longitis from Valerie Lucifer, from the fact they managed to take the white dragon fragment. But this is what he also explains that he will need 2 other longitises, but for right now, he only wanted those two fragments, most of the red one and the white one, just to kind of confirm if he can actually make this experiment go well. If he does make it go well, then he's going to be one of the strongest users, but he will use it until the very end when the Sukuna is either defeated or when the factions are either defeated. Now, while that's going on, this work well. Suguru kind of just says that he will still need more cursed spirits and special cursed spirits to kind of get ready to kind of get more like power and energy. So when he has to either fight Sukuna alone because either factions got defeated, he'll be able to take him out. But for right now, we go into mostly the faction meeting. We go from mostly Suguru's POV towards the faction meeting, with Ajuka kind of being there. Ajuka is right now talking to the factions, like every factions. Of course, mostly its friends and being other mouths. The Angel faction, the Fallen Angel faction, but still mostly Azos out of commission. And of course, they were just attacked a while ago, so of course, but yeah, they were kind of, well, they weren't attacked a while ago because some of the leaders went towards this meeting, so of course, there was only a couple when mostly Jogo and Mahito attacked, but yeah. But of course, it worked well. It was during this meeting, but yeah. So they didn't really get a notification just yet. This worked well. There was other like factions like the Shinto faction, the Greek faction, the Egypt faction, because yes, Egypt is actually joining up. Because mostly, what's it called? Because Anubis and other gods from Egypt decide to join up. Now, mostly, well, not Anubis. Anubis hasn't joined up because, well, he doesn't really care about this faction meeting, so the Egypt gods hasn't actually joined up. Neither has the Hindu gods, like mostly Shiva and the others, because Shiva doesn't actually see Sukuna much of a threat. The only person he ever sees as a threat in mostly those type of, well, aligned factions will be the old ex-Red Dragon Emperor, being Issei. But since Issei is gone and has been gone for 2 years and can't really find him, even if he uses his like mostly third eye to try to find him, he can't find him at all. So of course, which he only expects that he's fully dead. But of course, even if he wanted to see, even mostly his third eye will allow him to kind of see into depth. It's kind of confusing because he can't see it. He doesn't know where Issei has went, but he knows that Issei is no longer the Red Dragon Emperor. He's the ex-Red Dragon Emperor, but still terrifying power if he still had the Red Dragon Emperor power. He also, for some reason, mostly Shiba, one day just thought of, like, what happens if mostly Issei had the power of the white one and red one? Would that make him this where, well, Shiba just said, damn, that probably would have rivaled me in an instant. Even if he had fragment pieces of it, but still, nah. So of course she was just thank God for mostly not thank God. Mostly he's thankful for the fact that Issei is not the red one or white one, because he's probably that power will rival him instantly. But not the point. Of course, well, he's kind of saddened for the fact that Issei is dead, considered to be dead, and confirmed by mostly none other Suguru Geto. Now, he did try to use his third eye in Suguru Geto to try to see who this man is. And what he got was basically the memories of Suguru Geto. Because you see here, Issei and Suguru Geto are kind of like one and together. The reason why is because, well, Suguru Geto is, came from a different, not came from a different world. He was a kind of like man that Issei met. And, well, mostly when he was trying to escape. And, of course, when he was dying slowly and other things. But, of course, he met this man. And, of course, they both kind of became good friends, but of course Suguru Geto noticed that Issei was dying, and of course Issei was about to die, but of course mostly thanks to the fact there was a like strong cursed spirit, he would have died. I mean, he did die, but he turned into a cursed spirit, which mostly Suguru Geto had to kind of execute it. But of course, mostly Issei's cursed energy did activate to accidentally fusing himself with Suguru Geto, making himself a cursed spirit Suguru Geto. But yeah, but not the point. Of course, he only could see the Suguru Geto's life, not Issei's. But yeah, because Issei's soul and Suguru Geto's soul is basically one together. But yeah, that's why he acts kind of different most of the time, because that's somewhat Suguru Geto's personality of calling human monkeys. But yeah, but not the point. Of course, mostly we go into, well, from Shiva's POV towards mostly others kind of POV, but mostly it's a different god from like different pantheons. Like the Greek god Zeus. Zeus is kind of saddened from the fact that the Red Dragon Emperor has been confirmed to be dead. Of course, he hates how the devils really didn't do shit. Of course, the Red Dragon Emperor would have been helpful to fight against Suguru, because he has seen how powerful the Red Dragon Emperor was. But now, since Issei is considered to be the ex-Red Dragon Emperor, slash that he was the only Red Dragon Emperor to get rid of his sacred gear before dying, that just seems weird most of the time. He doesn't understand it. He believes mostly what Zeus believes, and mostly his old age and his wife's age. He doesn't believe that Issei was the one to take out his sacred gear to give it towards someone else, someone that he didn't like, because he did kind of see how Noah was, and pretty much no. He only visited, what's it called, the Gremory Barrage one time to kind of see and how the new Red Dragon Emperor was. Which mostly when he met the Red Dragon Emperor, he met up with the new Red Dragon Emperor with mostly what's it called, Artemis. And Artemis did not like this person instantly. Even what's it called, Zeus was very disturbed about the new Red Dragon Emperor. The reason why is because he was quite, and I mean literally, definition of lust. This man was so lustful that it literally put, what's it called, Issei Hyodo's like lustful perverted antics to shame. Does it work well? It literally put, what's it called, Rise's perverted antics to shame. Does it work well? Zeus literally just didn't understand why the Gremory picked this man to be hers. Like, he might be good looking, but he's so perverted and lustful. Like, goddamn. Like, luckily Zeus was there. If he wasn't, this motherfucker would try to somehow get into Artemis' pants, but Artemis would probably kill the man in an instant, starting a war with the devil faction. That would probably happen. And I mean, Zeus was happy that he was there, luckily, to stop them. Well, stop Artemis from killing him. Which mostly, Cersei noticed how mostly Artemis twitched every time mostly them, what's it called, Noah actually looked at her. But yeah, but not the point. Does it work well? They actually managed to kind of understand that the new Red Dragon Emperor is the most weakest Red Dragon Emperor they ever met, and the most lustful and most just out of this world lustful like Red Dragon Emperor. But yeah, he isn't that much of a pervert. Like, he doesn't show it off, but still, he's just hiding it from his good looks. He's like a playboy, but yeah, but not the point. Of course, well, mostly with that happening, we go into mostly other kind of gods that met Noah in mostly a couple of days, just to see how strong the Red Dragon Emperor of not this current generation, but I mean it is this current generation right now, and they realize that this Red Dragon Emperor is weak as shit. Like, some of the gods like Indra wanted to see how strong he was, and Indra didn't even need to use that much power to defeat him. He clearly see how the Red Dragon Emperor is more pathetic than anything. Riser really didn't want to be anywhere near the Gremory Barrage, and especially Ravel, for the fact that he hates the fact that mostly Ravel picked mostly this like person over Issei Hyodo, who was the Red Dragon Emperor. And of course, even Riser would be able to just defeat this person, because this person doesn't use his brain at all. He used mostly his more often than, well, mostly his brain. But yeah, he uses his second head, which, yeah. But of course, well, with that happening, everyone just is very disappointed in the Red Dragon Emperor. But this is where, well, we go into the POV of, well, mostly all those factions kind of meeting up, except for the Egypt kind of gods, and also, well, the Hindu gods, especially Indra. Indra, he really didn't show up because, well, Indra is like freaking Hades, which he just doesn't care. I mean, Indra is kind of cocky. Well, not that cocky, but still, he believes that he will be able to defeat Suguru without any other god. But yeah, there's also other gods, like from China. Chinese gods doesn't actually want to deal with any of that. And of course, they especially do not care. They don't care about Suguru that much. Sun Wukong, he will be interested in fighting Suguru, but he wants to see how strong Suguru is. For, well, mostly not strong, but mostly he will fight him when that man is like fully regenerated or something like that. But of course, mostly that is happening with all of them. Now, we go into the POV of most of those factions kind of talking. Mostly Juka is kind of asking them for help to fight against mostly Sukuna. Of course, this is where Zeus is willing to kind of help. Artemis doesn't like Sukuna because he literally looks like a male. And of course, other gods are kind of thinking to actually help and defeat mostly Sukuna. Because they don't know how strong Sukuna is now because, well, they never actually know until mostly Ajuka explains that he has all 20 fingers. He explained what the fingers were. Mostly the fingers are basically the seal fragments, and that's how mostly Sukuna disappear. Other sorcerers, cursed sorcerers, managed to kind of seal him away only into 20 fingers. They could not destroy the fingers, but of course they managed to seal it away. Now, mostly he explained that Suguru found out that mostly Sukuna himself has all 20 fingers. He explains that the person ate all 20 fingers, meaning that mostly Sukuna is now back into full power, and of course the old kind of spiritual body of that body that mostly Sukuna is using, well, cannot be mostly or turn back to mostly being a human, be easily to seal him away. They need to somehow weaken Sukuna enough to be sealed away or killed away. Who really knows? This is why, well, mostly a lot of them are thinking to kill him to make sure that Sukuna will never be revived. But yeah, this is why, well, mostly a lot of people are agreeing with that. This is why, well, mostly Ajuka is kind of thinking just to kill mostly Sukuna, but he doesn't know about how Suguru will feel. This is where, well, because Suguru just said that he wanted to just seal him away permanently into a different dimension. This is where, well, he doesn't want to betray mostly Suguru's trust because Suguru has gave important information about where Issei's whereabouts are at. But then again, they need to get rid of Sukuna. This is where, well, that is happening. But we go into mostly the POV of, well, back into mostly, we go backwards into time, go into a POV of mostly Jogo, and also, well, Jogo and, well, Mahito kind of appearing right into, well, the Goguryeo, because some of the leaders left to go into a faction meeting. But of course, well, they went to attack in an instant. This is where Jogo sent a huge fireball, like a massive fireball that smashes into mostly the Goguryeo base. This is where a bunch of fallen angels were appearing, but this is where they were all getting burned in an instant. Now, of course, this is where Slash Dog and even what's it called, Valerie's team actually appear. Like, what's it called, Lefei, Kuroka, and other people appearing. Now, of course, Kuroka and Lefei are quite depressed for the fact that mostly the grammar really cheated on mostly Issei with someone else who's completely weaker. But yeah, this is where, well, they're having to deal with two cursed spirits. Now, of course, not just Jogo and Mahito being there, but also what's it called, Jogo and also Hanami. Or not Hanami, is that Hanami? Or Naha, what? Nanami is the guy, Hanami. Okay, Hanami. His name is Hanami. This is where, well, the tree guy right now uses a bunch of roots to try to destroy the Slash Dog team and also try to separate Valerie from mostly her team, which that managed to happen. And of course, Valerie was fighting against Jogo. Jogo says, you're quite strong, White Dragon Empress. This is where, well, Valerie says, Balance Breaker. This is where, well, she's right now trying to fight against Jogo. Jogo says, it seems that you do not understand what true power is. This is where he starts sending flames, like flame attacks. Like he sent a flame attack from his hand to smash into Valerie, which Valerie tries to use to buy, but it didn't work because, again, curse energy and magic is different. So, of course, it would not be able to divide it, and it hits Valerie in the chest, right now kind of shattering her armor. This is where she was about to use Balance Breaker again to ask Albion to actually this time heal it again. But Albion is actually a girl who is actually named Shiro, but not the point. But before able to kind of, well, be able to kind of heal it, this is where Mahito appears behind her, and right now kind of took a fragment of, well, Shiro's soul, or mostly the kind of Albion soul, the white one. This is where, well, he took a fragment from it, and of course, this is where, well, Shiro tried to scream at, mostly, she's trying to scream at mostly Valerie to attack behind her. And this is where, well, before attacking, this is where Jogo appears, punching her in the face and launching her away, right back to her, like, team and alliance. This is where Jogo and, right now, Hanami, Hanami right now managed to pierce, like, 2 members of the Slash Dog team, while kind of hurting really bad. Of course, Jogo managed to attack Lefei with enough power to right now blast her into mostly next Tuesday, just being knocked out. kind of also close to death because mostly a bunch of wounds appear. Right now, Arthur, Biko, and Mikoroka tries to attack Drogo, but Drogo manages to dodge and disappear with the others, like the other kind of cursed spirits, and they just disappear. They use like a, what's it called, like a mostly cursed energy kind of summoning to summon out a bunch of cursed spirits, like other cursed spirits that are just grade 1 and kind of weaker, to just distract, well, the opponent. Mostly just to distract the Slash Dog opponents and also mostly Valor's team. But other than that, they disappear to just retrieve the fragment of the white one. But yeah. But of course, we go into, well, a time skip from that. But for right now, I'm going to end it off here. Other than that, bye, see you, and yeah. I don't really have any other time, but other than that, bye, see you, and yeah. I gotta be going. Bye.